Greetings and welcome to my journey with Paula G, where we juggle this journey called life while walking in the gifts and the talents that God has given us. And I hope that you are walking in the gifts and the talents that God has given you in spite of the challenges of life. We all have challenges in life, and our task is to juggle that journey called life while walking in the gifts and talents that God has given us. And that's what this show is all about, our guests, what it's all about, each person coming on and sharing their journey in hopes that something that they share will resonate with you and will help you along your journey as well. And speaking of journey, we always start our shows with a jewel on the journey. And the jewels on the journey, some people say, well, what's the jewel on the journey? The jewels on the journey are those individuals who have attended our live events or who have attended our live recordings. We always have these little index cards with instructions on them. And we encourage everyone to write down their favorite quote, favorite scripture, word of encouragement, something of that nature, so that I can then share it with you, the audience, and it also is a way of keeping them connected as well. So if you're interested in being a jewel on the journey, the second part of the journey, first part of the journey is the fact that you're watching this show. We really, really appreciate it. But the second part of the journey, if you would like to be a jewel, email Paula at paulagvoice.com. Put jewel on the journey in the subject line and share your favorite quote, your favorite scripture. And in one of the future shows, I will share that as well with the audience. And that way, we can stay connected as well. We thank you so very much. If this is your first time, we thank you for joining us on the journey here. We thank our underwriters, because without our underwriters, this would not be possible. We would not be able to provide quality programming. So we thank you all so much for being on the journey. All right, so our jewel today is from Kidda Clark Powell. Kidda Clark Powell. And she said that she really doesn't have a favorite scripture, but what came to mind is strength for her. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I still strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand. I would say that's a pretty good one right there, giving us strength and encouragement on our journey. All right, well, it is time for our guest today. This young lady, this powerhouse, because she's got a lot happening and a lot going on. I know she's going to bless you. This powerhouse has authored 3 books and co-authored 7. That's right, she's authored 3 books. She's co-authored 7. She's a domestic violence conqueror. She's a tree hugger and loves the ocean. She is Sandra Chaney. Sandra, how are you today? Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm good. Yes, I love trees, but I'm good.
So, okay, we're going to start there. So tell us about this love affair that you have with the trees.
Well, I am a native New Yorker, so I grew up in what they call the concrete jungle, because obviously it's more concrete than trees, right? But my grandmother raised me from the time that I was an infant till I was 6. So in the yard, in the country in North Carolina, was a bunch of trees, a bunch of dirt. And so I got to love trees because I climbed them a lot. So that's why I love trees. It's like going up in a tree just made me feel that much closer with God.
Oh my gosh. I feel it. I got to stop you right there. Because, for they used to call us tomboys, climbing trees. You get way up there and get on a certain branch and just sit up there all day. I got you now.
Yes, I could daydream all day up there. So, yep, that's why I like to hug trees. So when I get down, I walk in nature and I'll go hug a tree.
Yeah.
Because it helps to ground me.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I know there are a lot of little girls out there and little boys that climb trees when they were, it was a place of refuge. It was a place of peace. But it was also a place of refuge when Mama was chasing you with that switch that you had to go get. You gave it to her, and then you ran up the tree. And then she's sitting down at the bottom looking up with her hand on the hip.
Yes.
Like you got to come down sometime.
Yeah, but now that I'm an adult, I can stay as long as I want. But it really does. It from a mental and emotional standpoint right now, with everything going on, the tree is a constant.
Yes, yes, that's so true. That is so very true. And the ocean, oh my gosh.
I can go and have a conversation with God at that water. Like when the waves are rolling in, it's like it's washing me. When they roll out, it's like it's taking all of that away. The pain, the tears, the struggles. So the water is it's what keeps me mentally okay, because I used to suffer with depression. And so the water is what actually would keep me calm and help me feel like a brand new person.
Oh gosh, you just helped about 12 people right now with that one. With the ocean, you just helped about 12 because that is so true. I recently visited the ocean myself. It was a couple months ago. And I remember I would go out to watch the sunrise, which is just, there's no,
Yes.
when it just peaks over the horizon of them,
Yes.
oh my Lord. And just sitting out there and as the waves come in and they roll out.
Yes.
They come in and they roll out and take out the negativity and the hurt and the angst. So I totally feel you on that. So I know you've just given, a lot of people an outlet who may be depressed or have these pent up emotions, and the experience with hugging trees, climbing
Yes.
trees, as a child also, that is something that can be very therapeutic, for a lot of people. So thank you so much for sharing that. So we know your at least two of your places of peace, but it's been a journey to get to that peace because you are a domestic violence conqueror. I love it.
Yes.
Conqueror.
Yeah,
So
because I didn't just survive.
yes.
I mean, the surviving is okay, but I went beyond surviving.
Yes.
Because there's life even after the survival part.
Yes.
Because even in survival, we get stuck. I got stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I say conqueror, it moves me into a different place in space.
Yeah.
And I don't sit in that and wallow in that, because you don't forget, but you don't want to stay there either. So we conquered it because we're alive and we're still here. And we get to still have our dreams manifest. We get to still see, our children grow up or whatever those dreams are. So for me, it's conqueror. When I see somebody, I say, you are a domestic violence conqueror, not survivor. Because you've done more than just survive, you've conquered.
And that is so important what you just said, because I always say that words have power. I have a friend she just loves words. Like when we're working on something together, she has a dictionary of thesauruses because she's always looking for other words.
Yep.
And words have power. And their difference between domestic violence survivor versus domestic violence conqueror. There definitely is a distinction and a difference there. What does the Sandra Chaney on this side of being a conqueror, can you share with us maybe some of the things that she feels differently about, either externally or internally, versus the Sandra Chaney before?
So on this side, I love me more. It took a while for me to see my own beauty.
Yeah.
It took a while for me. So just for this particular show, I actually dyed my hair because I used to wear my hair blonde or this color anyway. But for a while, I wore my hair black. Like that's the color of my hair. But I never liked my black hair. I thought that I looked ugly with that black hair. So I would always dye it. And having my hair short, my ex-husband used to say to me that I was unattractive with short hair. So I would let it grow out just because that's what he wanted. But on this side, I'm like, I like my short hair. It represents me. You get to see all of me. I get to see all of me. So the Sandra Chaney on this side loves who she is now. I love whether my hair is blonde, blue, black, whatever. It's because I choose. I'm a woman. I get to do whatever I want. I get to wear a wig, not wear a wig. So I had to grow to that. I had to grow to not want to be the old church lady. And I'm not knocking church ladies, but I used to wear stuff, up here to my neck and buttoned up and baggy, because I didn't like how I looked body wise either. Now I'm a New Yorker. I like funky stuff. I like funky styles, and so that's what I wear. I don't even own a suit. I have one black suit in my closet. That's it. That's because I may have to have it for something. Other than that, you're going to see me in funky clothes, because that's who I am. And I had to get there because I was told differently about what I looked like. And until I felt it on the inside, it didn't matter what I did on the outside. So I had to internally grow to love her.
Yeah. And I can, you know what? I can feel that. And as you're speaking, I can feel that inner love just beaming out, just bursting out. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It really is a beautiful thing to see that you're just, walking in your own truth and declaring your own truth as a conqueror. I love that. I love that.
Yes. It makes me feel good. It just does.
And you look
and I
good.
want that for other women too. I really want that for other women. Whatever that is, I want them to be who they are. No matter what society or somebody else said, who do you say you are? And that's what I had. Who do I say I am? Who did God say I am? And so I had to, it took me a minute, and I'm still evolving, because I'm going to always be evolving, but I love to do that. It's fun to see me evolve.
Yeah, walking in your I am, as I always tell my clients, walking your I love that. So in the process of walking in your I am, you've been busy, because you've been a little bit busy, because you've got 3 books that you've authored, 7 books that you've co-authored. I'll let you start us at whatever point you want to start us at with that journey.
So my first book was called Give It to Her, A Gift of Healing and Restoration. It took me 15 years to write that first book, because it's about my healing from domestic violence. And how I healed, or how God helped me heal. But it took me 15 years, because my thought was, somebody don't want to read that. They don't even know who I am. So why would I want to write that? But God and his and hers, because I think it's he and she, infinite wisdom, was like, you're going to write this book. So I interned for an online magazine that's no longer around right now, but I interned, and in my interning, I was writing articles. Well, those articles became the chapters in my book. That's funny to me, because that's how the book came about. And so I wrote that book, and I'm glad that I did, because a young lady's life was saved by reading my book. She went on vacation, and her mom gave her my book. While she was on vacation, she called her mother from where she was and said, she's writing this book as if she's sitting right next to me, telling me what I need to do. And when she came home, they helped her pack and she and her children left, because he was plotting to hurt her, to kill her. So she left because of it. And so I think, had I not written that book, what would have happened had I not written that book? I'm not saying she would have died, but I don't know that. So that in turn is why I wrote the second book called The Woman Within. It's an inside job. And hence, when you said to me, there's Sandra Chaney on this other side, I had to come from, all right, I'm healed now. Okay, now what do? There's something on the inside of me that I really have to work on to get me further. And so I wrote The Woman Within. It's an inside job, specifically to help us help ourselves, and mainly for me to help myself. So I just talk about how to heal, because everything that we do comes from within. Everything that we need is already on the inside of us. We just have to tap in. And I had to learn how to tap in to that wisdom that I already had. So those are my 2 books that I wrote. I didn't write the third book really until last year. because I'm a nonprofit coach and consultant. And that book was entitled The Inside Secrets to Getting Money for Your Nonprofit. Because of my domestic violence experience, I worked at a shelter for battered women. And I loved that process of nonprofits in the community, helping the community. When the church couldn't be there or when government couldn't help, the nonprofit is there. So I learned a lot about nonprofits while working with this nonprofit. And I felt led to start helping nonprofits with building their programs and finding money to help in the community.
Yeah. How all of that came together, you know,
right.
Just, you know, each step along the way as you conquered, each step along the way, you were able to pen that. And you know, and that was just one person that reached out to. Can you imagine how many others have read your book and have done the same thing? Maybe haven't reached out to share with you, but have read your book and done the same thing, have just packed up and left. Wow. Just how many people, the seeds that you planted is limitless. So you had those 3 books. There's 7 others that you contributed to or co-authored. Tell us just a little bit about that process when you're co-authoring.
So co-authoring is, to me, a little bit easier because you only write one chapter. You're not writing a whole book.
Yeah, you just contributing.
So it's easier. But what I also find that even in the co-authoring process, there's so much you want to say when you start writing, and you only have but so many words that you can, you know, put on that paper. And so I think that's probably why I co-authored several, because it was easy for me to have a different story in a different book. And I think I also like it because it's not just me who's going to market this book or speak about this book, but you have 7, 8, 9 other women who in their own market will take that book there. So my story will also be seen in that market as well too. So I like the co-authoring process for that purpose.
Wow, that is huge. That is huge. What is it that grounds you?
Meditation.
Yeah.
Yoga. On the tree too. I can't leave the tree out. the tree, but I meditate first thing in the morning because I have to set my day. Sometimes I'll journal first because I don't know about you, but sometimes I wake up with all these thoughts in my head, and they're not always good thoughts either, okay? They're not always good thoughts. And you can't meditate with all those thoughts. So I'll pull out a journal and I'll dump.
Right.
I'll just dump out all what I want to, out my head. And then I'll sit and I'll meditate. I'll just get quiet so that I can hear that inner God. So I can, say my affirmations and set my day. When I don't do that, it's not a good day. Everything is discombobulated.
Yeah, and I'm a witness to that as well. Just really, meditation, prayer, whatever it looks like, to each individual is so very, very important. How can the audience stay connected via your website or social media? How can they stay connected with you?
So my website is sandrachaney.com. So that's probably the easiest way because my email is on there. But if they want to reach out to me on Facebook, it is Sandra Mizell, Mizell Chaney on Facebook. And it's I'm also on Instagram the same way. And then on LinkedIn at Sandra M. Chaney.
Okay. And we only have time goes so quickly. We only have a couple short minutes, but I understand also you're a part of a group entitled ICG, is that?
Yes. Yeah. It's a group where we support one another, push one another, cheer each other on. Because I think we need that in the world. You need to have a community that supports you, cheers you on, you cheer each other and help each other succeed.
Take care
so that's what we do.
and take care of each other. And that is such a, like you said, it's so important. It's such a beautiful thing. I always enjoy doing this show because I always enjoy listening to the different journeys. And there's such a wide variety of guests that come on, and wide variety of guests that have a journey. And there's always something unique about each person, because we're all, unique individuals as we are. And I just appreciate you sharing. I appreciate your energy. The light that is within you is just shining so brightly. And I mean that. The light is shining so brightly. And for you to be on the other side, for you to be a conqueror, know that you are blessing those who read your books, who are watching shows like this, who are listening to you if you're doing a radio interview or something of that nature. You are changing lives with your journey. And I'm just looking forward to, what the future has for you, down the road as well. Share your contact information one more time.
It is sandrachaney.com. That's my website. And then on Facebook, Sandra Mizell, Mizell Chaney. And the same thing on Instagram as well.
Thank you so much for joining us, for being a part of the journey. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of this journey. Thank you to our underwriters. And remember, the greatest conversation that you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears. What are you speaking to yourself? Is God a part of that conversation? And are you listening to his still small voice? What is your I am? Until next time, embrace the journey. Mm-hmm.
Can't believe I fall so easily. Can't believe he almost got the best of me. Should have known better, should have held on, should depend upon the Lord. But now I've grown, and now I know I can do it on my own. The enemy is like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Found my strength in the Lord. The gates of the hell will never prevail. As long as my Lord, he will never fail. My strong tower is the Lord. I can't believe I fall so easily. Can't believe he almost got the best of me. Should have known better, should have held on, should depend upon the Lord. Now I've grown, and now I know I can do it on my own. The enemy is like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Found my strength in the Lord. The gates of hell will never prevail. As long as my Lord, he will never fail. My strong tower is the Lord. And when I am all alone, I am nothing on my own.
Wake up 12 midnight
12 midnight, 12 midnight.
is my prayer time. Prayer time. Things ain't going right. Got to do that spiritual fight. When I pray, I'll be alright. When I pray, I'll be okay. When I pray, I'll be alright. When I pray, everything will be fine. Natura. Prayer changes this. Prayer is the master key. If two shall agree in touching nothing, shall be done for them by my Father. Jesus said. So when I pray, I'll be alright. When I pray,